Now from the banks of Lake Erie, EA Sports welcomes you to Huntington Bank Field here in downtown Cleveland. Here's the veteran Dustin Hopkins ready for the start, and we are underway now from Huntington Bank Field. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Two and a throw right away.
Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. That's caught at the 25. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 73 yards.
And the Dolphins are on the board first here this afternoon.
One play in the end zone on the long touchdown pass. You knew they wanted to get him involved. He's their go-to guy. First play, though, wow.
Yeah, and I remember when I was playing, something similar happened. I remember getting to the sideline and my coach said, so what in the scouting report with circling him, putting a star by him, did you not
What'd you miss?
that he was a good player? And that's the question I would have for them now. You know, as you said, he's a go-to guy. How is he not covered? No, I should say covered well.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Cleveland offense making their way out. They'll run it. Here's the rookie from Ohio State. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Now that's a big-time run. Lightning in a bottle, forget it. He exploded out of the bottle for that type of a pickup.
Right back to him on first down. Afitu Melifonwu up to make the tackle there.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
From the 46, here's 2nd and 5. And they'll run the end around here with Judy. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss.
Here's Flacco.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
On 4th down, Corey Bojorquez gets set to punt for Cleveland. Malik Washington.
Oh, pressure comes, and the Dolphins block it.
And they'll wind up taking over there in their own territory inside the 40. Here's Tua. He'll dump this off to Achane.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Just a loss of a yard there, but it's not going to help. Now they face a 3rd and 14.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone.
Did he get the feet down? Yes. Touchdown. Tyreek Hill. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Dolphins take the block punt and convert it into 6 points.
Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And this is not going to work as planned. He's going to be met and dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. 3rd and 7 now.
And I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
Flacco. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Now Tua. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hill. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a 1st down.
So pass interference to call. That's going to set him up with a 1st down.
And if it's a bang-bang play, maybe the flag stays in the official's pocket, but instead, he definitely impeded the receiver's right to catch the football. The official's letting the players know how the game's going to be called here in the first quarter.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun.
Throw caught by Achane.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
And again, it's Tagovailoa. And this is caught. It's Brown. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Well, they had a gain of 10 last time, now a gain of 20 here.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. That good for 22 and a first down.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
On first down, back to Achane.
And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 2nd and 10. Again, it's Achane.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So 4th down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit.
From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. The kick by Sanders is good. And that'll make this 17-0 here in the opening quarter.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
So an early advantage now and a good one. 17-0 our score as they kick this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here.
They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down.
Flacco looks to throw. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And I think we're all starting to wonder with this early deficit, what will that do to their play calling? Do they feel like they have to be more aggressive because they're throwing to start the drive here, but it winds up incomplete?
Now a 2nd and 10.
Operating off play action, Flacco. Throw left side, caught by the tight end, Njoku. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
He'll let this go for the end zone. And oh, it'll be intercepted.
Picked off by Ashton Davis. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. After the turnover, it's Tua. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on second and a couple. Washington in motion left. On play action, here's Tua. Throw left side, taken in by Washington. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down.
A run straight ahead with Achane.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Off a play action, Tagovailoa rolling to his left. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down.
Joe Tryon able to run him down for a loss of a yard. Well, certainly not an ideal first quarter for him. Remember, he lost the fumble earlier, and here he ends up on the ground with a sack.
And sometimes what happens when you make a mistake early, you get too cautious going forward. Just cover up the football and take care of it and be able to cut it loose. Otherwise, your offense is going to stall.
Yeah, this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot. And on that play, they were able to stop them short of a first down.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. $17-0 our score after 1. On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Now Flacco. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away.
Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football.
Miami set to take over. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. Throwing for Smith on the out route, and it's caught.
Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
Play action. Now it's Tua. And it's complete right back in the hands of Smith. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there, couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle.
And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Looking to pass. Tua.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 39. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here.
41 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
From the 33, here's a 2nd and 4.
They fake the handoff. Now Tua. He's got a man. It's his fullback. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
Slot man moves right.
Now Achane on 1st and 10.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
2nd and a couple.
In motion, Hill.
Right back to Achane on 2nd down.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now Tua going to fake the jet sweep and the handoff as he'll drop to throw it.
The linebacker Jordan Hicks flying in there for the sack.
So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
In motion is Washington.
Throwing on 2nd and long.
Tua. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10.
Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
2nd and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
The Browns on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. Setting up to throw, Flacco.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
And here's a handoff out of the gun.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4.
Now Flacco.
Pass complete to Judy on the out route.
And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line.
A first catch for Judy, good for a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Passing play, Flacco. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So 8 yards on the completion there, and that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Again, it's Johnson.
And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 15-yard line. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9.
73 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you've got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage. And that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And a penalty flag down as he gets only about a yard. And let's listen in on the call.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
Here's Flacco.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
Down several scores and playing behind the chains is not the way to have success in this one. Right now, if you're the offensive line, your big concern, protecting your quarterback and give him a chance to try and throw something downfield to pick up the needed yardage.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now it's Flacco.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up.
Smart move to throw that one away. You're in field goal range, so you definitely don't want to be loose with the ball. And that's great work by this defense to force a fourth down.
Hopkins' kick is good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. They've had a very solid first half, and as we near the end of that first half, they're just looking for a little more on top of their lead right now.
And when you put together a game plan on offense, you put together what you think is going to be the best possible scenario, right? Hey, we're going to score. These are the plays that are going to do it. But you also put together your counters, meaning after they make adjustments to what you're doing, what do we have to go to next?
The adjustment to the adjustment?
Exactly. So I can't wait to see if we come out of the half, how they're going to go about doing things. Do you just keep running what you ran before, or do you go to your counters expecting those adjustments to happen?
Before that, we'll see the end here of this first half. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Going to the air, Tagovailoa.
This one complete to Jalen Waddle.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Second and 5.
Now Tua.
That's to the sideline and incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Tagovailoa working out of the gun.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
On 4th down, Ryan Stonehouse on to punt.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
The Browns now going to take over late in this first half. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it, down by 2 scores.
Flacco from the gun.
Quick completion here to Johnson.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Flacco looks to throw. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
2nd and 9. Flacco. Right back to Njoku. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go pass again with Flacco. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Flacco. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Flacco to pass. And that is incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line. And the Dolphins with one final possession here in this first half. And with a 17-3 cushion already, we'll see how aggressive they want to be. Back near his goal line, here's Tua. Short throw to Smith. Well, they've already allowed 3 sacks in this first half, now a holding penalty.
So I think drastic measures had to be taken, right? The regular way was not working. He was getting hit almost every snap, it felt like. They had to try and keep him upright.
Up the middle, Achane. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. That's a gain of 6 on the first down run. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. 17-3 the score as we resume action for the second half on EA Sports. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. By no means certainly are they out of this contest. 2-score game start of the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, and that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives, try and slow things down a little bit. I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. To pass, Flacco. And his throw here's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So line of scrimmage, still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Here's Flacco. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But third down coming up. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and putting to the sticks.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. In motion goes the tight end. Tua going to throw. Complete to Washington. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Play action. Now it's Tua. Steps away. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the 1st down marker. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now as he's on to punt for Miami. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Now Flacco. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Back to throw here. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. Short completion, just 4 yards. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. Pass caught. He's got Tillman. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th.
On 3rd down, you'll give them that. You just want to make sure that you play the 1st down line. They were able to get him down and force the punt.
The Browns send out their punter now.
Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. .46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Miami's offense set and ready to go.
This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus, and indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. In motion left, Hill.
Out of the gun on 3rd down. Here's Tua. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down.
Like how they've started the 3rd quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now,
as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Here comes Carter. 47-yard punt, a return of 4.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Now Flacco.
That's going to be caught by Judy.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 1st down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
And they'll run on the inside handoff.
And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47.
92 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
If you're in the offensive huddle, you're smiling after that play because you've certainly got them guessing now. 2nd and short, could they just hand it off for another big gain? Or do they take advantage of this spot to take a big shot downfield?
Setting up to throw, Flacco. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
Passing play, Flacco.
And he had to reach for that one, but can't grab it. It's behind him, and it's incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the 3rd quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
The Browns send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And this will do the job nicely as that'll be out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line.
Dolphins offense returning to the field.
Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Well, that's where this Cleveland crowd, the dog pound in particular, make it difficult on opposing offenses. It looked like they might have had troubles communicating at the line, and it leads to the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll bring the tight end in motion right.
Achane gets it from the gun.
And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
And force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. On play action, here's Tua.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding goal.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Here's Tua.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
And that could have been the lifeline they needed. This is a play that could have been made. Instead, it's just going to fall incomplete.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now,
as he's on for the 5th time here today. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10.
Cleveland offense making their way out.
And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
103 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd down and 6.
From the gun, Flacco. This is caught. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. It'll go as an impressive.
Mike McDaniel, he's going to ask him to take a closer look at this call, and out comes the challenge flag.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now it's Flacco. Eluding. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Joe Flacco.
A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Browns have cut it back within a score.
I'd have to say we're all a little bit surprised there because at his age, with his speed, or should I say lack thereof, the only rushing touchdowns I would expect are on quarterback sneaks. But here, he found all of his guys covered, and he said, why not? And by the way, If that doesn't fire up your team to see the veteran like that risking his body for the touchdown, I don't know what will.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Dolphins offense returning to the field. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10
at their own 27. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
He's going to launch it for Washington.
And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Achane on the counter.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
3rd down and 13. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. They set up the screen. Achane has it.
Yeah, boy, he had the marker square in his sights, but a good tackle is going to leave him about a yard or so short. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here.
And they will start this drive with just terrible field position backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur. Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
Third quarter action. Appreciate you joining us from Cleveland, Ohio. 2nd and 10.
Flacco from the shadow of the goalpost.
This short pass into the hands of Njoku. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Operating out of the gun, Flacco.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield.
And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the fourth.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Here's Flacco. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete.
And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll bring up fourth down. The Browns send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Oh, he shifts past him. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10.
Right at the 30.
The drive starts with a run from Achane.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
And that's just an ideal run to start this drive because they're in full ball control mode now. So if you keep ripping off 7, 8, 9 yards of carry, you're going to have a great chance of finishing off this game.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and a yard. Achane here. They stay on the ground.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
And he is going to lose yardage here.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. And that was a heck of a play there on the outside.
Partner, sometimes I think on a play like this as a corner, you've got to think to yourself, all I got to do is slow him down so others can come over and support. But in this case, he said, forget that. I've got this. Sorry you had to make the run for nothing, fellas.
Looking to pass. Tua. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. Now Tua.
Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
Ronnie Hickman with a pick.
And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. They get the pick. Now what can Flacco do on first down?
He's got Njoku over the middle.
So the completion good for 7 there. And it's 2nd down.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now a handoff, running off, tackle right. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now.
Flacco.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. He'll get it to the 23-yard line.
So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He's got room to roam.
And he's all the way down to the 6-yard line. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards.
Let's just call it as we just saw it right there, a breakdown defensively. Seems like no one went with the tight end, and no one really did. Had all sorts of space in the middle of the field. Yeah, everyone else was covered, but he was not. Big play results.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run.
And the Browns are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. We are set up for a fantastic finish now. A 4th quarter touchdown here. We're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know they're thinking about possibly going for 2, but I'd go ahead and kick this one and just get it back to level.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th.
Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the 4th as the kick's away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field.
They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown. All tied up in the 4th quarter. And a chance for this offense to mount a potential game-winning drive right here. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10.
Just shy of the 30. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
He'll let this go deep for Waddle.
It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown.
Jalen Waddle.
71 yards.
And the Dolphins answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th.
Sanders on for the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return. The Browns set and ready to go on offense. They now trail by 7 after that last touchdown here in the 4th quarter. What a big spot for this offense. See if they can cobble something together on this drive.
For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 42.
It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44.
First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Right back to him on first down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8.
Here's Flacco. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. He'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
That's a ball he needs to let go of there. Wasn't the most time in the world to work through his progression, but NFL quarterbacks, they've got to sense the pressure. They've got that internal clock, and the ball has to be gone. And if you're not going to escape and run for it, you have to let it go before the pressure gets to you and puts you on the ground.
And he's going to go down again.
Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack.
And they went empty backfield, and because of that, nobody was there to pick up the blitz.
And you know that offenses, when they go with the empty backfield, they have different things designed on every play to try to account for things. But what people often forget, defense is audible as well. And a lot of times when they see an empty backfield, they audible right into a blitzing situation.
Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And it'll be Dolphin football.
To end the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10
at their own 21.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa.
And going deep for Hill. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Just because you got the lead in the 4th, it doesn't mean you have to play it safe. I like the aggressive play call there to push it downfield. That time, it didn't work out.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Tua sets up to pass it.
Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
The Dolphins on 3rd down, just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 10.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks. Pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. On the return, Carter.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return.
And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Flacco from midfield. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They've got to go thank the guys on D.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least it'll be 4th down.
Oh, this defense knows. 4th quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
Here we go. 4th down, 4th quarter. Flacco. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Going to the air. Tagovailoa. Throw left side complete. That's Hill. And he's got a 1st down following a pickup of about 13 as we will take a pause here for the 2-minute warning. Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. Another run on 2nd down, trying to cover up.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Now a timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down.
Now Tagovailoa.
Out to his left. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to perhaps salt this one away. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead.
So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
Flacco set to lead this offense. Down by 10. 1:36 to go. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down.
Now Flacco. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Well, it's pretty difficult to sum it up offense in a 2-minute drill when your guys have struggled to put points on the board all afternoon. There's an incompletion right there.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Flacco.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Jordan Brooks with it.
And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. And we'll see if the defense wants to stop it as they take the knee. Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right? Just us against the world and get it done. How happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
So it's a win for the Dolphins here, and it was a strong performance by Tua that helped lead the way.
Yeah, he was in complete control of this offense. He had 3 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And to be honest, he really made it look easy out there.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Cleveland.